Okay, so episode 7 basically is about the Pact invading New Dawn, which is where Imogen and Agreus are. And yeah, it was actually quite exciting watching the blimps come in. And meanwhile, in the Burg, Dombey, Philo, and Barrett are all working together to try and find the Sparrows. So don't get me wrong, Dombey is a cruel piece of work, hung up on the prejudices against the fae his father taught him, but he's an interesting character. Dombey acknowledging that Philo stopped the Black Raven killing him in front of his family, it does create an interesting dynamic. But yeah, Philo just goes all emo. And also now, apparently, since the Pact has left to fight New Dawn, it means that the Fae are free to go back to their home in Turnanock. Then Philo gets all sad and drunk and starts getting beat up, and Darius has to save him. Luckily, Darius knocks some sense into him. And then Vignette and Philo chat after she's upset that he got beat up. And it is again, OMG, why are they together? Why are they even speaking to each other? And now they're starting to send, Faye back to Turnanock, obviously. And even though in the later you find out why they do this, I swear to Jesus, the Black Raven are so bloody annoying. And then the Sparrows comes in and just absolutely, it's chaotic. After the Black Raven's attack, the Sparrows rocks up and it's just absolutely epic. It just annihilates people whilst Philo, Vignette and Tourmaline watch in utter horror. And Philo fails, even if he hates humans now, Philo fails at his most basic job that he's always done, which is protecting even the Fae, by not trying to at least quiz Milworthy about the Sparrow when he approached him earlier. So because he doesn't quiz him, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have made any difference, but the thing that's annoying is that Barrett gets killed, and it's really quite sad, actually, because he was a really good character. And he was the Sparrow kills Barrett, who deserved so much better, really, from Philo and the world. And then on to episode 8. Dombey's grief at Barrett was actually really good, and the fact that he trusted Philo, in his own weird kind of way, it was actually really good to see. Weirdly, Dombey became one of my favourite characters this season, despite his kind of evilness. Anyway, Philo screaming about Barrett's death was a really good scene. It showed that, despite his emo-ness, he actually still does care about some humans. The New Dawn is the location is destroyed, so that made Imogen and Agreus' escape with Ezra pretty easy. And then randomly, Imogen just kind of randomly kills Ezra, and then goes a little cray-cray for a bit. And then they get sent to the Burg and start having some relationship issues. So the Pact want to retake Turnanook, aka the Fae won't be safe even if they go there. So Vignette decides to go and take on the Black Ravens alone. Turns out that they were right, but even if they were right, they still piss me off. So the fairy communists are behind it all. A sentence I never thought I'd say. They now want Vignette to lead the Black Ravens, who are working with the New Dawn and the Sparrows. So poor Barrett was right. So Leonora, aka the leader of the New Dawn communist regime, gives Vignette the "we're not so different, you and I" speech, and tells her that the Sparrow is with the New Dawn. Leonora wants Vignette to join so others in the Black Raven will, but why the hell is Vignette the one that everyone flocks to? I still don't understand why she is the one that is so charismatic and beloved by everyone that everyone just does whatever she says. And honestly, I thought that Vignette was pretending to go along with it, or at least going along with it to protect Tourmaline. But no! Vignette is taken by their revolution. She's joining them, even though she knows that their Sparrows will kill Tourmaline, according to Tourmaline's vision. And Tourmaline rightly calls her out for it. Honestly, Vignette is literally that meme about college kids protesting passionately about things they don't understand because there's free beer there. Basically, Tourmaline tells Vignette just to F off. She is really shone this season, Tourmaline. And Philo and Dombey and Darius and Tourmaline have a plan to kill the Sparrows. It was actually really interesting, and seeing how everyone's turning against Dombey because he's supporting Philo was actually really interesting. But I'm sorry, Vignette joining the New Dawn was unforgivable. I am literally so surprised that it's actually Major Veer and not Milworthy. I was genuinely convinced it was Milworthy because he was acting so weird. I was I thought that the shapeshifter aspect of it could become other people. So we are now on to the finale, and Imogen really comes in clutch by revealing that Major Veer is working with the New Dawn to Millworthy. Obviously she doesn't know that it's also the Sparrows, but she does a good job there. So New Dawn basically turning the burg into chaos. Philo goes to Millworthy to share the news as all the politicians meet to discuss the peace treaty. Suddenly realising he's been got, the Sparrows transforms in front of Imogen, Philo, Castor and Millworthy, and it's super cool. And then, the Sparrows basically tries to attack the politicians, and Philo goes head to head with it, and Tourmaline is such a hero, man. She saves Philo. Then Kane dies, saving Vignette, after basically Vignette has this whole plan to get all these protesters to come into the people that are trying to get rid of the Fae to come into Carnival Row so that Lenora and the communist fairies can kill them all. And she finally realises when Kane dies, saving her life, that, the Sparrows is coming for Tourmaline, and two, maybe it wasn't a good idea working with these people. Anyway, meanwhile, all this is going on. Grace is being tortured, basically, hung up. His horn was removed because he was not happy with, Leonora. And yeah, that was actually an interesting conversation. It did happen in the previous episode, I'm pretty sure, between Vignette and Grace. But of course, Vignette still doesn't listen, as she never listens. Anyway, basically, Darius is really badly killed, saving Tourmaline from the Sparrows. And then Vignette finally shows up and tries to help, and then Philo shows up and kills the Sparrows pretty easily. Darius and Philo say goodbye as Darius dies, and it's very sad. And then Vignette once again realises she's made a severe and continuous lapse in her judgment, and once again she's instantly forgiven. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh, honestly, there is never any consequences for her actions, I swear down. A cop tries to kill Philo, and Dombey shoots him in the head before landing a killing blow. And it's pretty cool. So basically, New Dawn, they're being all kind of defeated. Then we time jump, where Philo is giving a speech to Parliament, talking about how Vignette deserved better than him, and saying that he lost the love of his life because he didn't accept himself as Fae. And then that, he says he won't be the next Chancellor, and walks out. The finale ends on the kind of what happens next for all the characters, and Millworthy becomes a puppeteer, sure. Grace and Imogen are genuinely happy and he's running for Chancellor. Anyway, they get a happy ending. And then Vignette and Tourmaline go back to Tiranock and they get married. Who saw that? Genuinely, who the hell saw that coming? Anyway, Philo then ends up, it's kind of a Dombey bromance. Him and Dombey kind of just give each other the the sup bro kind of, nod in the role, with Philo and Millworthy, realising that Millworthy loved Philo's mother. Also in the space of Philo recovering from the injury of the bullet wound, all of the burg is suddenly all cool with the Fae. It'd be great to wake up after a hospital stint and every prejudice to be gone, but it's not very realistic, especially since there was literally people in the streets calling for the Fae to be absolutely, like the whole of Carnival Row to be destroyed and burned. Now everyone's fine with that, apparently. A bit cool. So then Philo kind of walks off into the sunset, and it's like, what? So Philo's mum's dead, the dad that he just met is dead, his technical stepbrother is dead, his best friend, dead, and then also his partner, in the police force, who he's very close with, is dead, and then his girlfriend married someone else. At that stage, was it worth it? All of that? I just have no words for this ending. It's utterly, unbelievable. Yeah. So that was my review, discussion and spoiler talk for Carnival Row Season 2, the final season. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was a bit of a rant. And yeah, I just feel like I can remember really liking Season 1. I did not like Season 2.